Welcome to Breathing with Rest. Let's begin with a standing meditation. So you might just stand in Tadasana or draw your toes a little more inward and let your thighs knee bend inward. Now, if the legs don't reach one another, that's okay. It's just an anatomical structure issue. So bring in a block or some kind of a space holder so that you can find that rest. Hands can rest on the belly or by your side or anywhere that's comfortable. And let's just cultivate a deeper, longer, more gentle, and even breath. Start to feel activation or holding in your quads. Sink a little more into the heels of your feet. Lengthen a little bit through the lower abdominals. Perhaps there's an intention that is already on the tip of your tongue or on the forefront of your mind's thoughts. If that is an intention that cultivates an alignment of your body, your mind, and your heart, then stay with that intention. If perhaps an intention is not clear, consider this as just a gift you give yourself, this practice to breathe, move, and rest. An example of how we can prioritize our personal self-care. We can love and care for our body, our breath, our energy, and our emotional and intellectual well-being. May you be well. May we all be well. Coming to Tadasana, set the prop aside if you use one. Inhale, rise to a sun breath. Exhale down to center. May I be well. Inhale. May you be well. And may all be well. One hand up, one hand down, look down. Other side. The same thing, look up. Press through the heels of your hands. Good sun breath. A lateral bend, binding the hands at the top. Take it up and over. Bring that top hand down, thread it around the side or behind you. Drop the ear away. Release with a sun breath. Other side, lateral bend. Rise. Bring that arm down and around. Maybe even reaching to the other side or up towards the back of the shoulder blades. And then tilt the head away from the bound arm. Breath up. Hands come down behind you. Press out. The Taoist breath, fold in. Press forward. Cat the back. Inhale, rise. And hands come down. Good, inhale, open. Exhale, press out, add a little bend. Fold it in. Tap the back. Extend, reach. Bow, or just return the arms to your side body. Up and open. Down and out. Fold it in at the bow. Rise and reach. And take it down. Back upright. Opposite hand up and down. And look up. Into a twist. So up and over. Up and center. And up and twist. Up and center. Let's do 2 more rounds just like that. And come back to center. Empty coat sleeves, stand the feet wide, swing the arms and shift your weight. Notice that I lift my back foot up off the floor. That's just to protect the knees. I think the hips might swivel, the torso for sure should swivel, the arms will sway easily, meaning no muscular effort to control the arms. Let centrifugal force bring that stretch across the shoulders and into the torso. Come into our backup singer, right? So this is my shoulder and maybe a snap, right? A little bit of a bend in the knee and in the ankle, rolling through a shoulder, reaching through the elbow. You can get all the body moving here. Standing on one leg, right? We're gonna roll out the back ankle. So using a wall or a chair or anything for extra support, tuck one toe behind you and roll over and around the toes, getting all of the toes to bend a little bit in both directions and roll the ankle all the way around. Now your range of motion is going to depend on the shape of your bones and the state of your tissues. So no judgment, just let them find their way. Roll it out. Other side. Stand and roll. Reverse. And stand once again, take a sun breath up. And bring the hands back down and out. Add that bend. Fold it in. Press forward, round the back. Rise up. With the Taoist breath. And then we're going to build on this. So as you come right back up, one hand up, one hand down. Other side. Whether you look up or you look down, take the opposite, same movement of the arms, different gaze. Hands to heart, up and over to the twist. Up and over to the twist. Little variation. Up and over to the twist. Up and over to the twist. Up and over, swan dive, bend the knees, hinge the hips, dive it down, maybe bind the elbows, let the head hang, the knees bend, and open up that low back here. Good. Widen the feet as much as you'd like for comfort. Sink the hips towards a squat. Hands to heart center. Squeeze the knees. Press the elbows. Malasana squat for a little core activation. 5 breaths. As you release, come on down to all fours, hands and knees, and sway the hips. Turn the fingers out like flippers and widen the hands, maybe even wider than your mat if you have a traditional size mat. Now I'm using an extra large, extra wide, and extra long mat. Right, so just find that your hands are outside your shoulders as you sway. And then bring the hands back in, but turn the fingertips towards the body and the thumbs to the outside. You might even walk the hands back towards the center. And as they reach the center, you might walk the hands a little bit longer away from your knees, stretching into that inside of the forearm. As your hands change their orientation, this will reduce some of the movement in your hips. That's okay. Breathe and move. Good. All right, unwind the hands, bring them back to a neutral table. Cat and cow. All right, one hand at a time. You're going to bring the back of the hand to the floor. The thumb is pointed to the top of your mat, and you're going to allow as much weight to stack shoulder, elbow, wrist as your wrist will allow. We'll just take a few breaths here. Adjust the placement of the stabilizing hand, maybe a little more narrow to reduce the weight that's on the bended wrist. Listen to your body and release to some gentle circles. Second side, stabilize. Fold the wrist, palm is up, thumb is to the top of your mat. Well done, and roll it out. Let's thread the needle. So one hand for support, the other hand can peel up, peel out, peel back. We're just opening up across the chest. And then you're going to tuck and thread that arm underneath you. 2 more times, inhale up and open. Tuck and thread. Up and open. Tuck and thread to pause here, lengthening out the opposite side, maybe the leg, maybe the arm, maybe just your attention. This lowers the center of gravity. Bring some length down the torso. If you want a little more challenge, feel free to float the back leg up. Well done. As you release, come back up to your table. Cat and cow, or a little bit of a spinal floss. So spinal floss, the hands come in front of the shoulders. As the hips move forward, the chin drops to the chest. As the hips slide back, the chin lifts up. Let the hands slide if they need to reposition. Good, one more time here. The table and thread the needle for the second side. So again, opening up. I want you to feel that stretch across the chest. Then tuck and thread. that's enough. Stay here for the pause. I like to do this a few rounds. Just get the blood moving. See where I can open up into the edge in familiar repetition of movement. And sometimes that happens in 3. Sometimes it takes as many as a dozen repetitions. Whether I extend or hover is a matter of my energy levels today. For me, it feels really good to be grounded, to feel the floor beneath my toes and my hands, and let that length open up in my SI joint, that bone structure here in the back where the pelvis meets the spine. And still getting a bit of a spiral up through the thoracic spine, the torso. All right, as you release, come back to child's pose. You're welcome to pop up into a downward dog if that feels good for you. I'm still recovering from foot surgery, so I'm not yet able to put that kind of weight on my foot. So I adapt my practice to deal, to cope, and to honor the transitions that are happening. Stepping 1 foot forward, let's rock out this Hanuman. A little bit of a hamstring stretch for the underside as we pull back. A little bit of a hip flexor quadricep stretch as we shift forward. Now, if your hands aren't comfortably reaching the floor, then use blocks at whatever height allows you to keep the chest open and the shoulders neutral, no collapsing. The next time that we draw the feet back, next time we draw the hips back, let's pause here. And feel this in the belly of the muscle. So you might slide the foot forward, you might slide the foot back. And if you're still in the belly, you can even add the lift of those toes towards the shin. That'll pull that stretch from both ends of that energy line, the top and the bottom, by flexing the foot. If it's too much, then gently bend the knee. 3 more breaths here. Good. Now, as you come forward, widen that front foot. Take it out once or twice, right? The toes can even point out at a bit of an angle, coming into what is commonly referred to as a lizard. So the knee could be upright on the foot flat, or you can start to drop the foot to the outside edge and let that knee lower. You can stack your shoulders above elbows and wrists and stay high, right? It's going to give you more stretch in the front of that back leg. Or if it's more stable and less exhausting, you might even come down. This will deepen the stretch in that front hip. It's kind of a variation of the pigeon. And yet, for some, it's more accessible than the pigeon because we're not crossing that center line of the body. Two more breaths here. Awesome. Awesome. When you're ready, again, if you're low, you might want to come up first. That's going to take some of the pressure off of the pelvis. Stand the foot and draw the leg back. Feel free to do some circles, to sit and pause in child's pose, or pop up to a downward dog, or even a dolphin variation. Anything that you need to kind of quiet the chatter that's happening in the front and the back of your hips. And then we'll step the second leg forward. Again, landing that foot. Since we've got the back knee down, I'm not too concerned about whether that foot is directly below the knee, before or behind it, right? Because we've got our hands for support, and we reduce the weight of our body into that stretch because our back knee is down. Now, if your back knee is up, then I do want you to be more mindful about using your skeleton, your bones, particularly when the weight is here, right? Where does your body find its edge? Where does your body stop in terms of its forward reach, in terms of its bend, bow? And what are you feeling here? Is there a sense of compression, your body touching your body? Is there a sense of stretch, sense of extension? Next time, or when you're ready, you're gonna pause for 5 to a dozen breaths in the bow over that Hanuman stretch. Now, if you've got more room, you are welcome to come into a deeper Hanuman, right? Whether it's the lifting of the toes or the lengthening of the space between the front and back leg, lowering the pelvis to the floor or to a bolster, all sorts of krama and variations. All right, once again, we're going to shift forward. Widen that foot, bringing the hands to the inside. Well done. All right, when you are ready, take your time. Come out of this shape. We're going to sit onto our bum and the feet come in front. So that might mean you slide back to a table and swing the legs around. It might mean you bring that back leg forward through a squat and then sit down. Feet plant, hands support. Lift the heart. Open the throat. Release and rock the knees. Okay, come back through center. This time let's lift that heart again. Option to press into the feet, squeeze through the buttocks, brace through the belly, lift those hips up to a reverse table. Well done, lower the hips. Drop the knees to one side and twist around to reach. And as you come through center, take a bow forward. Let the knees fall open, the feet slide closer together, and bow. Maybe there's some gentle movements. Maybe there's a quieting pause. Good. Roll it up. Use your hands for support. Lift the knees to stand the feet. Let the knees fall to the other side. And then roll it around and take your stretch. As you unwind, go ahead and lower your spine to the floor. The knees sway. Maybe box the elbows and let them rock in the opposite direction of the knees. And we've got a bit of an experiment here. Take the nose with the elbows. And as you come through center after an evenness, take it the other way. So in other words, the nose goes with the knees. Good job. And release. Crossing one ankle over the other thigh. Bring that base thigh in towards the belly for 3 to 5 breaths. Again, another variation of the pigeon, the figure 4 option. Use the wall for that base foot. Use a strap if you can't reach your leg. Flip over and do the downward facing version if you prefer. As you release, take the legs up to the sky. Roll out the ankles. Reverse. Opposite leg crosses, stand the foot, press to the wall, use the strap, or bring the whole unit in towards the belly. Now, sometimes this shape is limited by the top leg's rotation. Sometimes it's limited by the bottom leg's flexion, meaning its ability to fit to the belly. Okay? Just notice where you are. Take it wider, take it narrower. Adjust and adapt to be kind to your body. May I be well. May you be well. May all be well. Lowering the legs, take a final twist. You might crisscross the knees. You might just drop the box knees. Unwind. And to your second side for the twist. And as I unwind, I'll take one more stretch, reaching from hands overhead to feet long down the mat. And then sigh. And so. The practice feels complete. Back to your intention. To reanimate, invite the body back into movement. Rolling over and rising up. Finding a closing posture, a grounded and centered space to once again reconnect with the intention as we begin again living this day. May I be well. May you be well. May we all be well. May you breathe deeply and move freely. May you labor lovingly and live vibrantly. Namaste. Thanks so much, and have a great